Imagine this. You walk into your backyard at sunset and nothing looks like trash anymore. Every plastic bottle you almost threw away has turned into something beautiful. Glowing lanterns along the path, tiny mushroom houses in the corner, a little greenhouse full of baby plants. No fancy tools, no big budget, just bottles, paint, and a bit of patience. In today's video, I'm going to show you how these ordinary bottles can quietly transform your garden into a real-life storybook, one idea at a time. Welcome back to Backyard Fortune, the little corner of YouTube where we turn everyday scraps into warm, magical gardens for real families. Today we're diving into a full tour of recycled bottle ideas, borders, planters, lanterns, tiny houses, all designed to be DIY friendly, zero or low budget, and still look like something from a European storybook. If you enjoy ideas like this, I'd love to invite you to subscribe and turn on the bell, because this video is part of an ongoing series of upcycled garden builds. And if you find even one idea you'd love to try, please share this video to your WhatsApp or Facebook and tell another garden lover about it. Every share, every like, every comment, it really helps a small family channel like ours keep going. For everyone who watches, shares, and supports this journey, I truly wish you a long, healthy life and a backyard full of peace and green blessings. One, fairy mushroom bottle houses for the kids' corner. In a quiet corner of the garden, where soft sunlight rests gently on the leaves, a small world begins to take shape. Imagine kneeling beside a patch of thyme and discovering a cluster of tiny mushroom houses rising from the earth, each one crafted from a simple recycled bottle, painted with cheerful dots and capped with warm colors that glow under the afternoon sky. There is something tender in the way they stand, not demanding attention, but offering a whisper of childhood dreams. Moss gathers at their feet like a welcoming carpet, and the faint scent of lavender drifts through the air, as if the garden itself is slowing down to admire them. These little dwellings feel like stories waiting to be told, of children imagining secret visitors, of evenings spent painting together, of hands that decided not to throw something away, but to give it new life. They remind us that wonder does not need size or cost, it only needs intention. A bottle becomes a doorway, a bit of paint becomes a memory, and a tiny corner becomes a moment of magic shared between generations. And as the breeze moves gently through the leaves, the garden invites you to wander further, because just beyond these mushroom houses, another idea is waiting to bloom. Two, bottle dome nursery greenhouse. In a gentle corner of the garden, where the morning light feels soft enough to hold in your hands, a small dome rises like a quiet promise. At first glance, it looks like a lantern made of air and sunlight, but step closer and you'll see it's just bottles. Clear, ordinary bottles that once held water or tea, now curved together into a tender cradle for new life. Inside this bottle dome nursery, warmth gathers slowly, like breath collecting beneath a blanket. Seedlings lean toward the filtered glow, their tiny leaves trembling with the eagerness of beginnings. Terracotta pots rest patiently beside them, soil still cool from the night, waiting for their turn to be filled with roots and hope. There's a peaceful rhythm here, the soft shine on each bottle, the faint scent of damp earth, the lavender edging swaying in the breeze as if nodding in approval. It feels less like a structure and more like a sanctuary, a reminder that growth often starts in humble places. This dome doesn't try to be grand. It simply protects, warms, and nurtures. It shows how something discarded can become a shelter, how light can find new paths through unexpected shapes. And just beyond this glowing nursery, another idea quietly waits to unfold. Three, Firefly Glow Bottle Lantern Path. As daylight begins to fade and the first hints of evening stretch across the garden, a soft glow awakens along the path, like a quiet gathering of fireflies returning home. Each light flickers inside a simple recycled bottle, its cap washed clean, its sides catching warm reflections as if holding a tiny ember of sunset within. The stones beneath glow gently, touched by these miniature lanterns that guide each step with a sense of calm. Lavender borders sway nearby, brushing the air with a scent that settles the mind, while the small shrubs stand like silent companions watching over the path. There is no rush here, no loud brilliance, only a warm whisper of light leading you forward through the cool evening air. What makes these lanterns special isn't their complexity, but their humility. A bottle, a tiny bulb, a wooden stake, things that seem ordinary until they find their place together. They turn the simple act of walking through the garden into a moment of reflection, a reminder that beauty often reveals itself in the quietest ways. As the path glows softly behind you, it invites your eyes toward the next idea waiting in the garden, another small transformation born from the things we almost threw away. Four, Tiered Bottle Pedestal Planter Tower. On a quiet wooden deck where the first light of morning gathers like a gentle sigh, a tower rises, playful, bright, and crafted from the most unexpected things. Stacked bottles, once empty and forgotten, now stand proudly in cheerful colors, each tier lifting the next like steps in a small celebration. Their surfaces catch the sun with a soft glow, reflecting warm hues onto the planks below. Trailing moss rose flowers spill delicately from the top, their petals opening toward the light as though waking from a long, peaceful sleep. Terracotta pots rest nearby, cradling herbs and tiny vines that slowly begin to explore the space around them. Nothing here shouts for attention. It simply belongs, weaving itself naturally into the European cottage garden around it. There's a joyful honesty in this little structure. It doesn't pretend to be grand or perfect. It embraces its handmade nature, the uneven brush strokes, the recycled curves, the way each bottle supports the next. It's a reminder that creativity often begins with what we already have, and that beauty thrives where effort and intention meet. As you step away from the pedestal tower, you can almost feel the garden gently guiding you onward, toward the next idea, waiting just beyond the flowers. Five, Blooming Bottle Vine Arch. There is a place in the garden where the wind slows and the light feels softer, as though it has paused to admire something beautiful. Here, an arch rises, gentle in shape, humble in materials, yet unmistakably enchanting. Each bloom that clings to its frame is born not from soil, but from the bottoms of plastic bottles, cut and curled into petals that hold sunlight like fragments of stained glass. Climbing vines weave around them, offering tender green companions that breathe life into the structure. Together they form a quiet harmony, handmade blossoms shimmering beside real leaves, both leaning eagerly toward the sky. The stepping stones beneath guide your feet forward, inviting you to walk through the arch as though entering a small story woven by the garden itself. There is a kind of magic in seeing waste transform into beauty, an invitation to notice possibility where others see only endings. These bottle flowers do not try to mimic perfection. Instead, they celebrate their second life, glowing softly in the light and reminding you that creativity often blooms from the simplest hands. As you pass under the arch, the world seems just a little lighter, and the path ahead feels ready to offer its next quiet wonder. Six rounded bottle border guardians. Along the edge of a flower bed, where soil meets lawn and colors begin to bloom, a quiet line of guardians rises from the earth. Nothing extravagant, nothing demanding attention, just rows of inverted bottles, their rounded bases catching the sunlight like small polished stones. Each one is filled with sand or soil, anchored with purpose, standing shoulder to shoulder as if keeping gentle watch over the plants behind them. Lavender leans forward from the bed, releasing a soft fragrance that drifts across the path. Thyme spreads low and green around the bottles, weaving them into the landscape until they feel as natural as river stones placed by time. There's something calming about the rhythm they create, curve after curve, casting delicate shadows that shift as the day unfolds. This border doesn't shout to be admired, it simply does its job with quiet elegance. Yet the more you look, the more beautiful it becomes. A reminder that order can grow out of simple things, that what was once waste can reshape a garden with gentle lines and thoughtful intention. And as you follow the border's curve around the flower bed, it leads your eyes softly forward, toward the next idea, waiting just beyond the lavender. Seven concrete bottle post anchors for rustic fences. In the quiet strength of a garden, some beauty doesn't bloom, it stands. Along the line where soil meets structure, a row of simple bottles rises from the earth, each one filled with concrete and purpose. They hold slender wooden posts steady, forming the bones of a rustic fence that blends naturally into the cottage landscape. The bottles, once light and fragile, now carry weight with surprising dignity. Their rounded shapes peak slightly above the soil, catching soft sunlight and casting gentle shadows across the ground. Creeping vines begin their slow embrace around the posts, weaving nature into the structure until it feels as though it has always belonged there. Lavender sways nearby, its fragrance drifting toward the fence like a quiet gesture of approval. There's a humble intelligence in this design, an understanding that strength doesn't always come from expensive materials or perfect conditions. Sometimes it comes from what we already have, reshaped with patience and a willingness to see potential where others do not. These bottle anchors don't seek attention, yet they ground the garden with silent confidence. And as you walk along the fence line, you feel guided toward the next idea, waiting just beyond the shade of the vines. Eight modular square bottle planter. On the smooth tiles of a small patio, where the morning sun settles gently before climbing higher, a square planter rises with quiet confidence. At first glance, it feels like a crafted piece from a designer studio, geometric, neat, and unexpectedly elegant. But step closer, and its secret reveals itself. Each wall is formed from the familiar curve of plastic bottles, arranged tightly in a clean grid that holds its shape with surprising strength. Inside, herbs push upward, mint with its cool aroma, basil unfurling soft green leaves, parsley whispering along the edges. Their roots rest in warm soil, sheltered by the structure that surrounds them, each bottle a small chamber echoing its past while embracing its new purpose. The sunlight glides across the bottle sides, catching tiny reflections that shimmer like droplets frozen in time. There is a peaceful logic in this planter, a reminder that order and beauty can be shaped from the simplest materials. It stands not as a statement of waste, but as a celebration of intention. A gentle promise that even discarded things can become the vessels of life and nourishment. As you continue past the patio, the square form lingers in your mind, guiding your imagination toward the next transformation waiting deeper in the garden. Nine, Bottle Stepping Bricks Garden Path. There is a gentle rhythm to a garden path, each step a small moment between where you were and where you are going. Along this quiet slope, the path is shaped not by polished stone or costly slabs, but by bottles once considered useless. Filled with cement, their rounded forms rest firmly in the soil, softened by moss and framed by small wildflowers that seem to bloom just to welcome passing footsteps. The surface is cool and textured, catching the light in subtle shades of earth and sand. Grass bends tenderly along the edges, brushing the pathway like a whisper of encouragement. River stones settle nearby, anchoring the walkway in a way that feels natural, as if time itself arranged them. As you walk, each step feels steady and modest, grounded by something simple yet meaningful. These stepping bricks remind you that progress doesn't always come from grand gestures. Sometimes it's the small, steady pieces that carry you forward. What was once waste now guides the way, shaped by hands that saw possibility instead of emptiness. With each soft footprint, the garden invites you onward, hinting that another idea waits just beyond the turn. Glow Cap Lampshade, Bottle Glow Garden Lights. When the day softens into evening and the garden begins to breathe a little slower, small lights awaken among the branches. They are humble in shape, cut bottle caps transformed into soft glowing shades, but the warmth they cast turns the entire corner into a gentle retreat. Each lamp hangs quietly, diffusing light like a captured firefly, illuminating the leaves and petals with a tenderness that feels almost like a whisper. Lavender rustles beneath them, releasing its calming fragrance as if to welcome the night. A wooden bench waits nearby, touched by the amber glow that dances lightly across its surface. Shadows stretch long and delicate across the ground, forming patterns that shift with every breeze. These glow cap lampshades do not try to outshine the stars, they simply echo their softness. They remind us that beauty doesn't need grandeur, it can rise from the simplest things, shaped by hands willing to imagine a gentler world. Bottles once forgotten now cradle light, offering comfort to anyone who wanders through the garden after dusk. And as you walk past the softly glowing path, the lamps guide your eyes toward the next transformation waiting in the quiet corners of the night. Before we wrap up, I'd love to know. Which bottle idea stole your heart today? Was it the fairy mushroom houses, the bottle dome nursery, the glowing lantern path, or something else entirely? Drop your favorite in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. I'm slowly mapping our little backyard fortune family around the world. If this video gave you even one idea or a bit of calm today, please remember to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves gardens or dreams of starting one. Your support doesn't just grow this channel, it keeps a small family dream alive, one backyard at a time. Thank you for spending your time here. Take care of your plants, take care of your people, and I'll see you in the next garden story.